Whoa. Are we live? We for real live? Oh my gosh. Let's
I
let's let's
believe so.
blow the
People,
dust off.
we're
Let's blow the dust off.
back.
Let's remove them cobwebs. I mean, how long has it been since we've done A&A? Like
Ooh, months,
it's been a
almost a
minute.
year even. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's been just about a year. But for all our viewers in the present and in the future, this is A&A with your hosts, Avia Knighton and Aaron M. Johnson. The M is for mind your business. I like that. That's what we're doing from now on. And
Period.
we're two wonderful black creatives. Because we have to specify we black. Because why not? And we just shoot the shit. We shoot the shit. This is a Friday Night Live, I believe, that we start doing. Uh, People tried to co-op it back in the day, but that's neither here nor there. That'll go into stuff later in the topic. But this is just this is us kind of getting back in our groove. We're welcoming the new year, and unfortunately, the new year has showed up and showed out in terms of
Oh, did it?
the creative field for people like us. Um, yeah, it's pretty it's pretty rough right now to be a creator as a whole, but specifically a black creator. If you go look at the title, the Issa Rae's show on HBO Max or the Max, Rap Shit has been canceled, and that's not the only thing that is for us by us that has been canceled for 2023 and 2024. And guess what, people? We're still in January. We're still in the first part of the year. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Avia, take it away.
Like you said, as Black creatives, it is very disheartening, to see that all the time, energy, effort that you put into creating great work, it just goes unnoticed or just unappreciated. Or if it or it is appreciated, but still it's like we just don't seem to care. It's it's interesting to me that they they don't see value in our stories, or they think that because they feel only black people understand black stories, and that's not true. Black stories are universal. Black stories transcend just us. And if they would take the time to realize our stories can speak to the masses just as anyone else's can. And the numbers have proved it. The numbers have shown it. They're like, lots of people watch rap shit. Lots of people watch all these other shows that lasted a season or two. And, we get on Twitter, we talk about these shows, we talk about how much we love them. And it's just, it just sucks.
Yeah, it just like we were speaking about earlier. It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I take that back. It does make sense. Just because of the landscape that streaming has created, and it's not fun. It's you can only you're lucky if you get a full season.
Right.
And with us, you're lucky if you get half a season. You're lucky if you get a pilot.
No.
Do we boycott?
let, let,
Do we boycott?
let's start something off. Let's start at the beginning phases, right? It goes back to what I was just talking about earlier. Let's say we, as an example, are in the process right now of pretty much creating our own shows.
Ah,
All right, we were pitched, we were pitched, we done all this stuff, and in the past people who we've shown these things to, they just don't understand. They don't know either how to accept the story themselves or how other people are going to accept the story. And just just from, like you said, like just getting the pilot, just getting a pilot made is very hard. So imagine how tougher it is being a black creative making a pilot. I can only imagine. Because I don't even
Right,
have, trust me, I don't even have to imagine because I,
right. And it's not to say doing this stuff for anybody is difficult because we've heard horror stories from every race, gender, sexuality you can think of. But when it comes to arguably minorities within the big this big system, one, it wasn't made for us. It's harder to get in, and it's harder to keep things afloat because let's call a spade, the gatekeepers. You know, like you were saying before, they don't understand our stories. Some don't want to understand our stories. They think they have preconceived notions for this, that, and the third, and it's disheartening because it's like, I hate to say it because everyone and their mom is just saying, but we're not a monolith. We have different tastes, and the real issue is not we're not showing up for our stuff. That's not the issue. Everyone within these groups, they're showing up for their own stuff. It's everybody else.
else.
You know,
Right. Because there was
they
a tweet
see
that said,
they see us, and this is like, ugh.
like, yeah, I saw a tweet that said, black people need to watch black shows. Like, we do.
Oh my
We
gosh.
do. We watch them. Like, us watching them is not the problem. Trust me.
Right.
We will show up and show out for black TV shows. Like, we do. And it's just, we have, and this goes up to a point that Ian made that is actually very interesting. He's right. Like the marketing for these shows has been terrible because we'll see a trailer. They'll release a trailer. The actors will do press junkets. They're doing the best that they can. Doing the press junkets. Trying to get the word out. And it's been hard, especially with the strikes. That were happening a few months ago. It was hard for actors and writers to really promote. They couldn't really promote their work. So it was hard for people to see what they were doing unless they really followed them closely. And it also shows that there aren't a lot of people who look like us in these rooms who truly know our just like the different dynamics of of our culture or subcultures to be able to appeal to the masses.
Yeah. Very well said. Very well said. It just this created a lot of discourse when it shouldn't because pun intended, it's very black and white. um I don't know what Zach's last issue is, but everyone right now is, like I said in a tweet yesterday, you're witnessing a purge. um I think in the late 60s, early 70s, there was this TV purging, believe on what, NBC, where they got rid of the comfort shows, things like Beverly Hillbillies, Andy Griffin, all things like that. Petticoat Junction. They called the Rural Purge. They made way for
Mm-hmm.
more relevant uh, shows in the city, sitcoms. That's when we got the Norman Lear television universe. Fine shows, wonderful stuff. But we're witnessing that type of purge with black entertainment, and it's very specifically black entertainment, and that's the problem. There's, don't get me wrong, there's still black shows that we're going to be out there, but I mean, just to pull basically a red wedding, that's no good. That's no good.
Right. Think about
And
what happened.
it makes no sense.
It doesn't. But think about what happened with UPN. Well, look what happened with
Yeah,
the UPN.
you
We
pick a
had
nigga.
girlfriends, the game. great black content on that channel. Everybody ate
Yeah,
great black content on that channel. You know, ratings were
yeah.
up. You know, everything. You know, people were watching it, and all of a sudden pretty much canceled all the black shows to make way for the CW. When
Well,
we
yeah,
knew
because they got
this,
their
and
audience. They got the viewership they needed.
pretty white kids are
Yeah.
problems.
Fox did the
That's what they
same
wanted.
thing.
Hey,
Like that's
it's like we've seen this
everyone.
before, and it's like
Yeah, we've seen this. We've heard this song before. We've seen this movie before, and we don't like the ending.
no,
It's the treatment of Issa Rae is reminding me a lot of Keenan Ivory Wayans right now. Um, I feel like that
mm,
could be a separate episode, but just the long short of it is when Keenan pitched and created In Living Color for Fox. You know, it was a flagship along with Married with Children, and In Living Color did what no other TV show can do or has done, and that was dominate the halftime show for the Super Bowl, which led to the Super Bowl getting Michael Jackson next time because they got eviscerated by In Living Color the year before that, and you know when you have a show and a team like for In Living Color do something like that for your channel, that you know
mm-hmm.
that's a paramount in itself. And then the fact that you know they had shows like Rock and South Central and Martin and Living Single and you know all these great shows. And then what do? They you know Rupert Murdoch and all them they get the deal with uh, the NFL to do Super Bowl. And The Simpsons is doing amazing. Married with Children is in its like seventh season. They do the Purge. They do the
And
Purge,
you brought up a good
and
point. There are
yeah.
only. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry
No, no, I'm just
for
saying, yeah.
interrupting. There are only a few black TV shows that go past 5 seasons. There are some. There are some, but it's not a lot. Not a lot. Like it's like the cutoff is like 5 or 6 seasons, but for like Friends, Big Bang Theory, you get like 12 seasons, 11, 12 seasons. And it's like, you see the value of that, but you don't see the value of Living Single, which in my opinion is one of the best sitcoms to come out of the 90s, period. Point blank period. That and Martin, point blank period. Like, come on. I mean, when you say, like, and they say, why can't you make
Yeah,
why can't we make it like The Bear? It's because we already have great television. We don't, we have that. We have it.
right,
It's just not being promoted.
right. Yeah, that comes down to the marketing. It comes down to
Like
the
you was
marketing.
talking about. Like, yep.
See, and I think what I'm hopefully not speaking for everybody, because I know people don't like that coming from individuals they've never heard of, but I think I think there's a frustration. The real part of the frustration comes from the fact that one, we can't really express these feelings without fear of massive repercussions that we know are,
Mm-hmm.
you know, lined by race. And also is that it is such a big conversation that we've been having for almost a century,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like, yeah, we can get the accolades, we can get, you know, things trugging along, but the problem has still not been addressed properly.
Right.
You know, the equality isn't there. And it's like, you know, not to say, you know, for these TV shows, because I know there's going to be some creators and writers who may stumble upon this and feel some type of way that we spitting some facts and knowledge. But it's a blessing to even get a season out there. It's a blessing to get 2 seasons, and so on and so forth. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And when we're seeing, specifically these shows with people that look like us, constantly getting the axe, that's not good. That's not a good
Mm-mm.
look. And the always the excuses, the audience isn't there, this, that, and the third. Well, which audience are you looking at? That's the real question.
Right. Right.
And that's something they don't want to talk about. Because obviously, it still comes back to the fact that if we're not enough, if 100% of your audience is black and it's still not enough, then that is a dog whistle to us that you don't care about us. Word to Michael Jackson.
Yep. I was just
Like,
about I was just about to say.
okay. Like, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
And they've shown it time and time again.
Yeah. It's truly, it's just a poor performance. And it's like, what do you have to do to keep this stuff on the air? You know, it, can we have our own? We've tried many times, but it's usually co-opted, or kind of like the hood's been, and gentrified to the point that we don't have our own stuff. And usually you have these people like Mr. Person who said black people watch black shows, where it's like, even if you show up, it's still not enough. And we have to stop doing that too. Not us. Like, I hadn't said this in a minute. The royal we have to stop doing that, where we blame each other when we know we're not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
like everyone who's on that side of the argument, y'all not paying attention to the one who's really causing all this hell. But he pays your checks. I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Payola.
Let me just
Love
go
me some
down this
payola.
list. Let me just go down this list of the shows that, and the thing is, I've seen all of these. That's okay. So of course, rap shit got canceled. I'm still upset about that because it was going in a very great direction, and they just
Yep.
axed it. Like it's like Max, like what were you thinking? Again, then we got Blind Spotting, great show based off the movie, great show. Run the World, good show. Swagger, really good show. Truth Be Told, great show. Southside, amazing, hysterical. I mean, hysterical. That show was. Ugh. And another Black Lady sketch show. But that one, I feel like that. I'm not really sure if either her contract went up or if and she decided just not to go forward.
From the mouths of babes,
Or eight,
even
no,
they know.
right, right, right. But I don't know if her contract with Max was done, she decided not to go forward with the show, or if Max decided just to cancel it. I'm not sure. But either way, I'm sad that the show is no longer going. Ziwi, hilarious. Ziwi, hilarious. The Game reboot. You got Kindred on FX. The Wonder Years on ABC. And this one really did hurt my heart. Grand Crew. Grand Crew. And then we got The Riches on Amazon. And then the Saturdays on Disney Channel, which it definitely, this one hurt too, because it reminded me of that early, like late 90s, like early 2000s Disney Channel, without
Right.
the laugh tracks. It reminded me of that so much. And then, With Love on Amazon. And it's not just our shows that are being canceled either. Like it's Asian, Latino, Indigenous, and LGBT stories that are being canceled. Like Love, which I was watching, and it was great. American Born Chinese, A League of Their Own. Like they're cutting these shows at the knees, and that right, Mike, legendary, and then Watchmen. But speak on it, Mike. Speak on it. Huh. Yes, yes, and yes, and it's just these shows were really stepping into something that had that part creatively that wasn't really tapped into, and they just got the axe. And it's just mm, mm.
I have a yeah, yeah. I was gonna say something real out of pocket, but we just started the year. I'll wait. Like I will sit my happy self here and wait, because we're trying to be nicer this year. Even though, see, let me go. That goes to a bigger thing. We as Black creatives try to make a space for ourselves. Try to have our voices be heard,
Mhm.
and admittingly, it can be a polarizing for people who don't understand our culture. That's fair. But
Mhm.
what about let me not do whataboutisms, but let's let's keep it fair, Let's keep it fair
Mhm.
because 9 times out of 10, if you had 10 shows with a predominantly black cast, and I guarantee you there's one for everyone, you know, not just black people too. You'll get an audience of, everyone you can think of. Your target audiences that you try to use for your pitches, you'll get those, but you have to give it a chance. But we can't have that chance thanks to streaming. That's an episode in itself. But
Yeah.
we don't have the space anymore, and that sucks. We can't have another different world. We can't.
We could, but then like we could create one, but we're like, oh, we just don't we don't get it. We didn't go to
Right.
HBCU, so we don't understand the
And
HBCU
it
experience.
wouldn't last. It wouldn't get its if it was a show that got its footing at season 2 because it changed directors and whatnot. It would be canceled just like that
Mm-hmm.
because the system is rigged. And we'll leave the nepo babies out this time, but it's the individuals who y'all just don't like art. I'll just say it. Y'all just don't like art. You're not
Apparently,
creative. You're not creative. What happened? What happened to the creatives in the industry? You got greedy. Look at how y'all treat the animators. Y'all got greedy. Oh gosh, I feel like there's a whole thing there about black animators that we could talk about too
mm-hmm.
one day. One day. But it just this purge. This is gonna be. We need to start calling these like B sides when it's just.
Not they want another 8 Mile.
Oh Lord. You know what? Let them have it. Let them have it. Get Charlie Puth. Let them have it. Because at this point, we can't have nothing. We
What 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 Aaron just said? Corporate greed has killed creativity. Ain't no if or buts about it.
now what happens when you have corporate greed and racism? Huh? That's the problem.
Yep.
That's where the problem really lies. And
But what we also need to
oof.
well, there are black streaming services. So we need to pump
Right.
those up too.
Got
They're
to.
around.
Yeah. We've got to. Like, and the thing is, though, what I fear is that even when we show up, you're gonna have a Viacom situation where when it starts really popping, you're gonna have this, big conglomerate come in, commodify the thing, and run it into the ground till it's, unrecognizable. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
where are our owners? Come on, y'all. Come on, guys.
These are good questions.
Like, where are y'all? We need you. We literally need the coalition. We need the coalition. We need the coalition. Like, it's getting to that point. There was somebody, great YouTuber, his name's Lil Bill on YouTube. He made a tweet that said something to the effect of the way all of these shows are getting, killed every year, it's going to be an indie boom of black entertainment. And I agree because at some point we're going to get sick and tired of this.
But we already sick and tired. We been sick
Okay?
and tired.
But what happens, I put it like this, what happens when we get the money? When we get the money and we got to beg these people, you can forget it. You can forget it.
Mm.
Like you're going to see tons of beautiful art made without the constrictions of studios. And I think that's the other thing. All of these rules and regulations that have been created to basic it sets everybody up to fail. And you're not just letting the creator,
Mm-hmm.
you're letting the crew down. You're letting all of the pre-production people, the post-production people, and for what? Just because you can get the
Because
Christmas
it's not
bonus?
like
Like,
right. Because it's not like they after like let's say they've been working on a show for like let's say 8 seasons, right? And they know that the season like they know this is the last season, the season comes to end,
right,
so they're looking for another job. Oh, but let's say if they're working on a show for like on season two, and they're like, oh, we're not, you see, it's can't there isn't going to be any more seasons. Now they have to find another job, and it's not that easy to do that. So now they have to, the whole rat race, like trying, it's like it's not just actors, the crew. Like now they have to find another way
right,
to make a living.
right. Networking.
Yep.
Where's the coalition? Where is it? Where are the systems that should be put in place to make? Oh wait, they've been firing them. Never mind. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Answered my own question because y'all at them studios, y'all be firing your word that y'all don't like diversity uh, individuals who ensure that it's not a set of just what it was looking like in the 50s. God, this is, we going
What
backwards.
they just been
We're,
putting
we
in
really
people's
going
faces this whole
backwards.
time.
Yeah,
Like
we're going
they've
backwards.
just been playing in people's faces the whole time. Cause like ever since 2020, oh, we're doing diversity. Diversity was their main talking point. But it's like, but what have you actually done? How many films that were released this year were directed by a woman, and
Yep,
how many were actually directed by a woman of color?
yep.
Like,
Like
stop
the
playing in our faces.
misogyny.
Like, y'all don't
Oh,
care.
yeah, they don't
Like,
care.
y'all don't care about people of color. Like, y'all don't care about creators of color at all.
you know, and
And the
that's
more they,
fine. They don't have to care about us all they want, but it's like, let us have our chance. You ain't gotta like us.
mm-hmm,
They just don't want.
nope.
Let's keep that to ourselves on the playground. But there are a lot of issues, a lot of systematic issues that have been prevalent for quite a while. Um, and it's obvious that, I'll just say, it's obvious that some of these film geeks who got lucky to be writers and directors and whatnot and crew members, uh, they want to help their buddies out. And you can help your buddies out, but don't get mad when somebody says, we got to make this for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get mad at that. Film is a collaborative effort. And if you can't collaborate, then you don't need to be in this. You don't need to be in the industry.
Nope. Nope.
Plus, y'all don't like it when. Uh, yeah, no. Let's go ahead and let's get into that. Some people don't like it when, and it's not necessarily race or gender, but in this specific one, it is when you have self-made entertainers, um, like an Issa Rae, didn't have to go through the horrible trials and tribulations that you always hear about. Um, she did it. She did it herself. She really did do it her way, on her own terms. And I know that that grinds people's gears. And I think it's just disheartening that, she creates all this, from her own mind. And, she's obviously a share the wealth kind of person. But for her to still have to answer to somebody who wants to put her on the chopping block just because they can, like, I don't know if it's a message or what, but that's just, we won't get too deep into that, but that's an issue within itself. It's truly
Mm-hmm.
an issue within itself. And as somebody who got a pilot out right now, I'm glad that there are people that get it, but
We're
like
going
Adrian was
into a
saying earlier,
time of a different crew.
you
Oh,
know,
my bad.
there are a lot of people that just
My
no,
bad.
I'm just saying there are a lot of people that don't get our stories, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
want to get our stories. And if they do get our stories, they want to add some, stereotypes that should have died like 30 years ago. But it is what it is. Here's what it is.
Yeah. And that's it. We're going into a different type of just like different type of creative now. Like it feels different, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's what the systems are scared of. When you have creators who are, when they can get their own audience, they don't need an
And she did
agent.
have a fan base on YouTube first before she went to
Right.
she had a fan base.
Like that's kind of scary when you can do everything an entire agency is supposed to be doing for you. When you do that by yourself, um, that's that's intimidating. That's very intimidating for anybody, at a certain, an upper level management, because it's like, well, damn, I guess my job is obsolete. We have to keep making that job. That's why you have the payroll and the PR and stuff like that. But what happens when you do it on your own? And you're gonna see a lot more pop up. You're gonna see a whole lot more people like this pop up. And I think why people don't see it as a threat so much is because at this moment they don't see it as a threat because there's not a lot of people with the kind of drive that's needed to do this, or what they perceive
Mm-hmm.
is they don't have the drive to do it. But trust me, there are going to be people that start popping up with the kind of drive to literally make their own. They can make their own studio at some point, and they don't need a lick of an agency's help or any sort of management.
Mm-hmm.
any sort of publicist. They can be their own publicist. Like, all you gotta do is find you a journalist friend, give them 10%. There you go.
That's it.
There's your publicist.
That's it. Yep.
Completely in house. That's what's going to cause a problem, and I think
Like
it's
you're my
gonna
manager.
yeah, and it's gonna happen a lot quicker, I think, because of streaming and because of this current purge. Like, a lot of people are pissed off and they're gonna start doing their own thing and be successful with it. And hopefully, I hope I see you know everybody do it. Not just black people. Let me see everyone get in on this. But it's like, you gotta have the drive to do it. You have to have the talent to keep it going, and you have to have the tenacity to understand what you're doing, and you have to have the knowledge and the business savviness. But it's coming, and trust me, it's coming. And I think, as per usual, black people are going to be at the forefront of it, just because we run the culture and whatnot. But it is what it is. Kind of sucky that there's just, it's not looking too good for shows for us, by us, um when it's marketed specifically to us. It's not looking too good right now, just
Mhm.
because it's same as it ever was. These things happen in cycles, and I think we're seeing a resurgence of what happened in the 90s and early 2000s. And doesn't mean that we're about to have a we will have a renaissance, of wonderful content that look with people that look like us. But for right now, it's not looking too good. It's really not.
Well, you know
And
what?
don't be, it sucks.
It- But here, but well, let's leave this on the lighter
On a high
note,
note.
shall we? Like, yes. But no matter what, we're still gonna keep creating. We're
Always.
we're still gonna give our best, even if they think that our best isn't good enough. We're still, we're still gonna do our thing, and there's nothing they can do. They can try and dim our light. They can try and say that our stuff isn't good enough, but we know it is, and that's something they can't take from us. Even though they try
Period.
against us, they know our talent is our talent is remarkable, and they know that, and
Period.
you
That's
know,
why they want us as staff writers.
mm,
Yeah, I said it.
Well, all right, everyone. On that note, this has been A&A. Thank you for
Just a
tuning
lot
in.
of awesome stuff in the next year or so, where it's just completely indie. I really do think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah, that's been
Like, everyone has
because
access to
especially
so much technology.
it. I believe there is going to be a resurgence in independent film and TV. I feel like that's definitely going to make a comeback for sure.
Oh yeah. For all my directors and screenwriters out there, when the indie boom is happening, don't do another Kids, please. Thank you.
No, please don't. Please don't. Please.
Hey, leave that in the '90s. Leave that in 1995. Okay, we already got Euphoria. Leave it. Leave it there. Give us something new, something fresh. I mean, like, with the technology, we can, you can have somebody who's pretty, good with some CGI, give us some top quality content, in terms of like imagery and stuff, where they don't even need a studio. You don't need a big VFX studio. I think that's scaring folks. I'd like to see it though.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see it happen. I really do think, hell, if I want to get really deep, I'd say it would when that indie boom happens, you won't have too much issue about the pay because I bet you everybody treated equal.
Mm-hmm.
So leave Taraji alone.
Right. She was spitting facts, and they know it.
Yep. But no, yeah, like you said, let's leave it on a high note. Like it does suck that this, has happened and the current purge is probably going to continue, but it's going to be some great things that pop up from this. There's going to be some really, really, really great things,
Like two shows
because
coming from
remember
two people
people,
talking right now.
okay, like remember people, you listen to them right now. Um, but I was going to say, like, in the 70s and early 80s, when you didn't see too much of us on television, oh, you start getting, I basically call it the Black Pack, with Robert Townsend, Keenan Ivory, all of the Wayans at this point, Eddie Murphy, et cetera, Arsenio Hall. Like, we're slowly getting that right now with we always call them the trio with Quinta, Issa, and Robin, but you're gonna be seeing
Mm-hmm.
a lot more pop up, and hopefully everyone gets to sit at the table. But right now we got to do something about this, and I think we are. I not even think. I know there's a lot of good things happening behind the scenes. It's a matter of when. It's just a matter of when we see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Period, and period,
Period.
Q.
But, yeah, the
And
change
thank you,
is
Mike. We
very
are some
much
alien
here.
superstars. And we
Okay.
are some alien
Okay.
superstars.
We are one of one. We're number one.
The,
The
on-
only
the
one.
only one. Don't even waste your time trying to compete with us.
Okay. Like, y'all got us fucked up.
So, y'all, thanks for tuning in to
Man.
A&A. We appreciate y'all for taking y'all's time to listen to us go,
Yes.
talk about this here topic. But we'll be back. Award season is upon us, and best believe
Always.
because Academy Award nominations come out in like 4 or 5 days. So we're gonna have our thoughts
Absolutely.
about that. So tune into that. But on Sunday
You
we have
better.
our vision board episode with our entire MD crew. So be ready to be wowed by our vision boards, and
And you'll
we'll
learn
see
how to
y'all next time.
manifest for the future.
Period. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. So peace.
Peace.
A and A B side. That's what this is.